Life is how we see it. As they say, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Some things in life can be quite simple and yet may define the mark of perfection by itself. Likewise, some sweet luxuries can be made by the simplest of ingredients with a great mark of taste. Today's recipe is one such, which is made with just 3 main ingredients. It is a traditional sweet which is rarely available in sweet stores, yet very close to the hearts when it comes to homemade treats. The sweet we are talking about is Moong Dal Ladoo, also known as Pasiparuppu Urundai in Tamil. Okay, let's jump into the recipe now. The 3 main ingredients to this recipe are 2 cups of split yellow Moong Dal, fine sugar which should measure to 1 cup and a quarter after we powder it, and half a cup of ghee. We shall be adding 2 additional ingredients to make this magic work. 1. To elevate the olfactory senses of smell, a few pods of cardamom, rightly 3 would be enough. 2. A few cashew nuts chopped to add some texture to the laddoos. As they say, take the rough with the smooth. Firstly, we shall dry roast the Moong Dal until it is cooked crisp. This is one important step as the crispiness is the key. If you don't roast them taking time until it's done, it's going to taste like you're going to eat damp, soggy, uncooked dough. So, wait until the texture is dry roasted thoroughly. Don't over roast it, burning the dal, which will bring a burnt flavor that is not desirable too. The test to know when it's done is quite simple. Just take a little of the roasted dal and taste it. If you feel it's crunchy and crisp, with the fried moong taste, it's done. Remember, crisp is what we are aiming at this stage. I am making roughly about 2 dozens of laddoos here, for which I shall be using 2 cups of Moong Dal. Let's keep aside the dry roasted Moong Dal to cool for a few minutes, and then we shall grind it to a fine powder using our food processor, along with 3 cardamom pods which will elevate the flavor of our laddoos with a great aroma. The reason we grind them is to avoid the sudden burst of cardamom chunks from in between. Grinding will help blend the cardamom flavor without any distaste. The next step is to ensure the flour is finely ground, and for that, we shall sieve the flour once to eliminate the bigger granules in it. Again, this is an important step as the uniform texture of the flour is a must for this recipe. I'm doing a small batch here, and in case you make it a bigger batch, you can grind the leftover granular pieces in the last batch and sieve it again to blend it with the rest of the flour to avoid wastage. The next step is to grind the sugar we have to a fully fine powder For a 2 dozen recipe, we shall use 2 cups of sieved Moong Dal flour. To it, we shall add 1 1/4 cup of powdered sugar to sweeten it. You can slightly increase or decrease the quantity of sweetness depending on your requirements, but this measurement is quite right to get the laddoos not too sweet nor too bland. Let's mix these 2 powdered items and set aside. We shall be making 2 dozens roughly, and this is one such recipe which is usually done in batches and stored for a rainy day. The shelf life is indeed good enough to store it for a reasonably long time, as it doesn't contain much of wet ingredients. And this batch of 2 dozens, I hope will not even last a week at my home. You put it on the table, a few hours later, it's all gone with the wind. Now, in a pan, we shall fry the cut cashews in a couple of tablespoons of ghee and get them done until they are golden brown. This is to make the cashews crunchy and crisp. Let's add in the ghee fried cashews onto the top of the powdered mixes. To ensure that all laddoos get at least a few cashew bits, let's mix in the nuts with the flour evenly. And meanwhile, we shall keep the rest of the ghee to melt in the same pan we fried the nuts and get ready to move to the next stage. To make our Moong Dal laddoos, add a little warm melted ghee over the powdered mixes and start working up to make the laddoos. The ghee needs to be hot to keep the flour bound, so it needs to be worked when it's hot, or at least when it's lukewarm. If you let the ghee reduce the temperature, the disadvantage will be that you will end up using more ghee than what the recipe calls for. Add ghee to a smaller batch at a time and work dividing the flour to smaller parts depending on the quantity. My best advice to get it right is to work it as fast as you can when it's slightly bearably hot and workable. And get the laddoos made by making small balls out of the flour mix. You may use more ghee to make the laddu perfect to a round shape, or it's absolutely your choice to keep it rustic, adding little ghee. My preference is to keep it a little rustic, yet make shapes of laddoos. The reason to this being that it might take a day otherwise to set, and you may need to wait until the wetness of the ghee dries out to get it ready to eat. And not to mention, you will end up using more fat, making it too rich. My personal vote is for the low ghee laddoos over the perfect round shaped ones, and there is a huge difference in taste too. That's it. We are ready with a great recipe full of flavor with the easiest of ingredients available in our kitchen. Hope you enjoy our recipe. Hit the like button and subscribe us if you have not done yet. We have included a list of other videos to watch listed in the description too. If you have enjoyed watching this video, I am sure you will love our rest of the recipes too. So do check in our channel and the playlist to find more easy recipes like these. Follow us on Instagram, Pinterest and Facebook. Thank you for now and see you soon with another recipe worthy of licks and bites. This was Hafsa with you. Meendum Sandipom. Bye bye.